In most towns, twins are rare. In Kodinhi, they're everywhere. Welcome to this village of doubles, where almost every family has a mirror. It's a small, quiet town in the southern Indian state of Kerala. And if you ask any of the roughly 2,000 families that live here, they'll tell you there's nothing remarkable about their town except for one thing. There are more than 400 pairs of twins living here. That's roughly 1 in every 5 families. Some have 2 sets of twins. Some even have 3. When researchers first heard about Kodinhi, they thought it was an April Fool's joke. But when they started investigating, they realized this place is for real. And while they haven't been able to figure out why, they've embraced it. Today, Kodinhi is known as the twin town of India. But just how did this happen? To answer that question, we need to start at the beginning. So, when did this begin? Before the 1980s, Kodinhi was like any other village in India. But then something strange began to happen. Twin births started to increase. At first, it was just a few pairs of twins each year, but by the 1990s, it was getting more and more. Today, it's 1 in every 30 births. That's 3% of babies born in Kodinhi are twins, which is 30 times higher than the global average. If you look around, you'll see them everywhere. Children holding hands on their way to school, both wearing blue shirts and carrying identical lunch boxes. Mothers pushing double strollers down dirt roads. Grandparents rocking to babies at once in the evenings. It's not uncommon to see people walk into your frame, do a double take because you think you've seen them before, and then realize that, yeah, you have. And the craziest part, women who leave Kodinhi and marry men from other places also have twins, even though those men aren't from the same gene pool. If you travel to Kodinhi and meet a few people, you'd never guess anything was out of the ordinary. It's a peaceful village with palm trees lining the streets and cows grazing on the grass. You'd never guess that this sleepy town has one of the greatest mysteries of modern genetics. A researcher from a university first visited Kodinhi in 2008 and was baffled by what he saw. Since then, geneticists, doctors and anthropologists have all scratched their heads trying to find an answer. They've done hundreds of tests looking for a genetic cause, but so far they haven't found anything. There is no single gene responsible for the twin phenomenon, and no group of genes that could explain it either. They've looked for something in the water. Maybe a mineral that causes the body to release extra hormones, which could then cause a woman to release an egg, which could then be fertilized by 2 sperm. But they didn't find anything. They've checked the local diet to see if there is some special food that might be causing this. So far, no luck. Some researchers hypothesize that there's a recessive gene in the area, something that skips generations until 2 carriers have children together, and that child has a 25% chance of having twins. Maybe that happened here in Kodinhi. And now there are so many descendants from those original carriers that the odds are much higher. But they don't know that for sure. What they do know is that the rates continue to climb. In 2019, there were 50 sets of twins born in Kodinhi. In 2020, there was 67. One theory is that there's some kind of unknown epigenetic trigger. That means something in the environment may be turning on or off certain genes. But that something remains a mystery. All these scientists are struggling to explain a natural process that humans have always been fascinated by: twins. As one expert put it, the more we study, the stranger it gets. Now let's go back to daily life in Code. And most kids are dropped off at home between 2 and 3 p.m. It's the hottest time of the day, so they rest before heading out again at 4 to attend evening classes. Lunch is usually rice and curry, with chapati, a type of bread, and pickle. Dinner is the same, but often with fish instead of chicken. When the sun goes down, everyone heads to bed. For parents, it's hard to keep track of who does what. With so many twins, they often dress them in matching clothes, and sometimes even send them to school on the same bicycle. Teachers struggle to keep track of who's who, especially since the students all look so similar. Even elections can be tricky. The voter lists are filled with duplicate names, so election officials have to bring photos of the candidates so that voters can make sure they're re-voting for the right person. And if you want to apply for an ID card or open a bank account, you have to prove you're not a dependent, because banks don't believe that two independent people can have the same name and birthday. Life with so many twins can be tough. In some ways, it's easier for the kids. If someone teases or fights with one twin, the other one can defend them. But on the other hand, they always feel like the second option, and that's hard on them. Still, the vast majority of people in Kodinhi seem happy. The twins and their parents embrace the situation. Many believe twins are a blessing from the gods, and they celebrate that with festivals full of color, dance, and music. When the media heard about Kodinhi, they sent reporters from around the world, including Japan, the UK, and Germany. A local NGO named the Twins and Kin Association was set up to help support the families and twins in Kodinhi. Today, it works with more than 300 families and offers aid to those who need it. It is safe to say that there has never been a place like this anywhere else in the world. If you've ever wondered what it would be like to live in a world that's perfectly reflected, a place where everything happens twice, well, here it is. They say no two people are truly alike. But Kodinhi comes pretty close. They have a saying in Hindi, Hodi Behar, Behar, Hodi, meaning where there's smoke, there's fire, and the people of Kodinhi are proof of that. Every morning, hundreds of twin children head off to school. They wave at the camera as they pass by, and we catch a glimpse of their perfect mirror images. Identical faces laughing in slow motion. We watch them disappear into the distance, leaving only the faint echo of their laughter and the whisper of their footsteps in the dust. And then we turn around to look at the empty street behind us. The path stretches out like a timeline, disappearing into the distance, and in the hot midday sun, we can see the ghost of their laughter, the mirror image of their footsteps, imprinted on the dusty path, fading in and out of view. Some villagers raise children. Kodinhi raises questions. Here's what we know. It's a village of 2,000 families, nestled in the southern state of Kerala. It's famous for its rows of identical houses, and even more identical faces. Almost every family has twins, and that's been going on for the past 40 years. What we don't know is why. Scientists have come up with all sorts of hypotheses, but they don't know for sure. And perhaps that's part of what makes this place so fascinating. As we walk through the village, we see the same houses, the same smiling faces, and we hear the same laughter echoing over and over again. It's like being trapped inside a mirror, a world that's perfectly reflected, a place where everything happens twice. And as we listen to the laughter, we can't help but wonder, are we really seeing a world that's exactly the same, or is it just a reflection of the one we already know? Thanks for watching. See you next time.